Well, it's nice to see the Browns are back to being the Browns. I mean, what was it? One season where they weren't completely inept, actually made the playoffs, won a playoff game, and it was like, holy shit, the Browns are going to be a real football team. But those days are long and gone, and now they are back to being an absolute dumpster fire. It is absolutely hilarious that the Browns can only the Browns can find themselves in these kinds of situations. And it was just 1 year. It took 1 year after giving out what I've said is the worst contract in the history of the NFL. Completely broke the market, has massive ramifications across the league. And that's the contract they gave to Deshaun Watson. Absolutely terrible, terrible contract. Even after all the controversies, the suspensions, they spent 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to bring this man into town, and then proceeded to give him a $230 million contract, fully guaranteed, the first in the history of the NFL. They're already looking to backtrack. GM Andrew Berry speaking to reporters today at the NFL Combine, talking about how there needs to be some flexibility here. We may need to restructure this thing because, good God, they've handcuffed themselves in only a way the Browns can. Let's put it this way. No player in the history of the NFL has ever had a cap hit over $39 million. Deshaun Watson's cap hit for the next 4 seasons will be nearly $55 million. Yes, $55 million for the next 4 years. Absolutely horrible. And that's after having a pretty bad season in his first year in Cleveland. Was suspended for 11 games, so basically missed the better half of 2 straight seasons in the prime of his career. Was only 3-3, threw for 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, 5 picks. He was just not good. Now, it could be the rust. The only way you get good at playing football or get good in the NFL is by playing football, and he did a whole lot of not playing. Practice can only do so much, so maybe it was shaking off the rust. But of course, only Cleveland could find themselves in this situation. I mean, they're now, let's look at the cap. They're in cap hell right now. They're currently 14 million, 14.3 over the cap heading into 2023, so they have to bring that number down, ranking 27th in the NFL. They got to find ways to make money, clean out some cap here. And the only way it feels like they can do it is with Deshaun Watson's contract. This is horrendous. I mean, he's such a huge cap hit here. I mean, he's like, what, 20% of the cap hit? He's 21.79% of the cap hit. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, you're paying Myles Garrett $30 million essentially, which is well worth it. Myles Garrett is one of the 3 best pass rushers in the NFL. He's, in fact, the only reason your team stays relevant, it feels like. Makes the defense kind of good. But, man, this team is in absolute cap hell. They've run out of talent, it feels like. There's no youth there. Kevin Stefanski's kind of a meh head coach. You have a wild owner, Jimmy Haslam. I mean, this is an absolute dumpster fire once again. And it's all because of this contract. It makes no sense why they gave Deshaun Watson this contract after everything he had been through. He was in no position to finagle for a contract like this. He was in a prove-it situation. He was suspended for 11 games by the NFL. He had to go to therapy treatments. He had to do a whole bunch of stuff. He was on very, very thin ice, and you just broke the bank for him? Absolutely makes no sense. What were they thinking? And now they're back to being the Browns. I mean, honestly, you're going to have to cut some players. You don't have any first-round draft picks, and you're going to rely on Watson to carry this team. Now, maybe Watson can get back to a shell of his former self. He was a top 10 quarterback before he sat out in Houston, so maybe he gets back to that level. But I don't know, man. This is a really, really awkward situation. You have Nick Chubb sitting at running back, who's going to want to get paid here in a minute again. And, I mean, can you keep the offensive line intact? Can you keep anything intact on this team? I mean, it's just insane. 21%. No team's ever won over 12% coming into this year. Mahomes obviously broke that streak, but that's Patrick Mahomes. Nobody is as good as Patrick Mahomes is at quarterbacks, and that's what it's going to be. I mean, only Cleveland. Like I said, only Cleveland. And, of course, we're seeing the massive ramifications of this contract with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson wants a fully guaranteed contract north of $200 million, saying, well, Deshaun got it, I can got it. Hey, Lamar, guess what? Not everyone is the most inept organization in the world. People are not going to be handing out this contract because It's just so bad. If Cleveland's already looking to back out of this deal and get a full restructure 1 year into the deal, and last year's hit was nowhere near the hits coming up, I mean, it just screams how desperate and how pathetic this contract was. Only the Browns. I feel bad for my Cleveland sports fans. They have a tough go of it, especially when you see the success of the Cincinnati Bengals just across the way there. So it's a lot of frustration. It's 80 plus years of futility for the Browns. And you know what? It's not getting any better anytime soon, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What should the Browns do with this? Is there any chance they can salvage this situation, or is this just going to be a black hole of a football team with a quarterback and nobody else on it, and maybe they win 4 or 5 games? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.